Scott, what do we as individuals, what can we do to prevent this crime or at least lessen the opportunity for identity thieves?
Well, individuals have a few basic things that they can do that will dramatically lower the incidence of identity theft. One is check your credit report. They have, thanks to the FACT Act, which was signed into law by President Bush in 2003, consumers now have the ability to get one free credit report each year from all 3 credit reporting agencies. The credit report is an important way to check to see if your identity is being misused by fraudsters. There are a couple of other things that you can do if you're a consumer. Don't carry your Social Security card around in your wallet is one. You've heard about a number of ways that consumers can behave. Check your mail, read your credit card statements.
Paul, one other thing, if I can just say with Scott, is don't carry your PIN number for your ATM card and other PIN numbers in your wallet. Just a point in humor, my PIN number is my favorite 2 baseball players of all time. The numbers that they wore on their back.
And that's tough. That's a tough one to get.
Yeah, and so who are they?
Yeah.
Only I know.
Exactly.
Don't use, if you live at 1010 Mockingbird Lane, don't use 1010 as your PIN number.
Right. All the common things that you would normally do, your birthday or things like that.
Right.
And it's a good bet that if you use it on one thing, you probably use it on 20 others, so you don't have to remember all that stuff, right? I mean, let's tell the truth. If I would say, man, you keep a list up in your refrigerator.
Right.
That also brings up the point of changing your password. I know that's a difficult thing because you can't remember what your last password, but updated firewalls and changing your password frequently is also good practice.
We talked about the credit reports, which are very important to get, and they're free. One a year is free from the 3 reporting agencies. This is a good time to show you how you can get those reports. Stuart Pratt, president of the Consumer Data Industries Association, explains.
Hello, I'm Stuart Pratt, president of the Consumer Data Industry Association. We represent consumer reporting agencies, or credit bureaus, as they are often called. They maintain credit reports that help make it possible for you to get credit cards, mortgages, car loans, and other forms of credit. Reviewing your credit report is a valuable step to take. You should do this before making a major purchase, such as a home or a car. The Fair Credit Reporting Act ensures that you may always order a copy of your report from any consumer reporting agency, and also provides a number of instances when you are entitled to review your credit report free of charge. The easiest and fastest way to get your report free of charge is to go online at annualcreditreport.com. We believe an educated consumer functions best in the marketplace, and understanding your credit report and the information in it is critical to this process.
That's very good advice. Checking your credit report is one way to spot identity theft before too much damage is done and to begin to clean up the record.
If you are a victim of identity theft, you have access to that credit report more than one time each year.
Yes, because you want to keep track of it and what's going on.
Absolutely.
Anthony, any more advice on how to fend off the identity thieves?
I think, as Alex mentioned, if you're a customer of a bank, if you're a member of a credit union, they're doing all they can to protect your identity, but they need your help. If something seems wrong, you're missing a statement hasn't shown up, contact your financial institution, see what's going on. Again, better to be cautious, better to be safe. And finally, you just don't leave information around. There are areas that you might think are secure. They might not be as secure as you think. Your workplace and your home. You want to secure your financial data, receipts, statements. Just don't leave them out. Take your receipt from the ATM. Don't leave your receipt at the gas station. Again, you can't protect all chances of identity theft, but there are a lot of things consumers can do.
What about when we're using computers, about putting a PIN number to actually access the computer itself?
I think it's also best practice if you leave your computer on. You've gotten through the password protection part of your computer, but you walk away, whether it's home and you have people running around or it's at work, that you turn your computer off, because it very easily for someone to come in and look at all your documents or look at in other places and find personal information. And I even have a watch that what I could do if that was the case, I could download it onto a thumb drive and walk out of your room or your office with some information.
Right.
Gee whiz.
Well, one other thing, as we update our computers and we buy a new one, it is recommended that you clean out your hard drive before you donate to charity or to other groups, to a school, because there could be a lot of information that's stored in your hard drive that you've kept over the years that people can easily access once you donate it to charity.
Right. Some people may say, watching this, that's a great idea. How do I do it? Talk to your 8-year-old grandson or kid. Okay? They'll know how to do it. Talk to somebody young, and they can do that for you. Okay, we've talked about some sophisticated things here now, but there's still more that we need to emphasize. Scott, like signing new credit cards as soon as possible and things like that.
Well, that's one of the most important things that you can do. Just sign your cards. It's a verification mechanism that people can use to make sure that it really is you. They match signatures. Another thing that's emerged that I actually think is a very good idea, I've seen more and more merchants lately asking for IDs when you present your credit card. That is not a bad thing if you're a consumer. But a couple of other things. Anthony mentioned the ATM transactions earlier, and make sure that people aren't looking over your shoulder to try to get your PIN number. Finally, solicitors don't need your personal information. They don't need your Social Security number. They don't need your credit card number. If someone's just calling, and we've heard stories about that today, of phishing instances, people asking you to provide this information, you don't need to do it. Your financial institution knows your customer information. If you get that request, the best thing to do is to hang up or to log off and contact your institution yourself and find out if that really is the case.
These are some straightforward things to do to protect your information and yourself, but what happens in a disaster? Alex, you're from Florida. You know a lot of them.
This is something that everyone should do, no matter where you live, whether you're in an area of a zone where disasters could happen. It doesn't really matter. Everyone should look in their home and in a simple manila envelope, put in that manila envelope birth certificates, other sensitive documents like financial account numbers and other identification marks that you may have. Put it in that envelope and put it in a drawer where you can remember. These are difficult times when these disasters happen, whether it's floods, hurricanes, earthquakes, or others. Be ready to take that manila envelope with you in time of evacuation, so you'll have those sensitive documents with you.
Now, what would happen if you didn't do that?
You'd have to begin rebuilding your ID, and it's not too difficult to do. The first thing you do, you need to call your financial institution and let them know what happened. Obviously, you need to talk to the state authorities, the driver's license bureau, call other government agencies, your Social Security agency, and in times of disasters, all these groups gear up in their service providing even to a higher level, because they know that the demand for their services will be extremely high.
And they may be asking you some more detailed questions because you have nothing to go from. So
That's correct.
It should not be a caution against that, because in this case it would be It would be necessary.
They understand these difficult times of disaster recovery, that that you've lost it, and they will help you regain your ID.
But at the same time, you have to be careful that you're not being scammed by somebody who calls you when you are in distress.
Right. In the case of the government, they know your Social Security number. In the case of a financial institution, they know your account numbers. So be leery on who's on the other side of that phone call. Do not give out your credit card numbers or your Social Security numbers.